welcome to another episode of The Purpose Experience. Come on, say it with me. Hold on, because I got to do something real quick. Come on, say it with me. Today is another day to live out my purpose and to give it 120%. Come on, say it again. Today is another day to live out my purpose and to give it 120%. We have an exciting topic today. And as soon as we have an exciting topic today, and I apologize for the slight delay. I gotta get people out the house in the morning, and they how can I say, let's see, they lose stuff in the morning. They running behind, so I gotta keep giving reminders. It's just like you gotta push them out the door. So I'm sorry for the delay. Morning to you. Good morning, Rita. And Rita, I'm gonna say this too. There's nothing like friendships and sisterhoods where even if something's not going wrong, even when you feel like something might be going wrong, when you can approach each other in love and understanding. So Rita, absolutely not to that question you had, but it's just amazing to have a sisterhood where you know you have that unwavering support and y'all are there for each other. So love you, Rita. Good morning, Toya. Good morning. Toya, you not coming today to help us pass out flyers? It's okay. It's okay. Come on, go ahead, write it in the chat. What are you grateful for today? Good morning, Miss Lashia. The root of joy is gratefulness. It is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. Remember, I always say, the more gratitude we express, the more happiness, peace, and joy we'll have. So what are you grateful for today? I am grateful for a focused mind. I'm grateful that you guys prayed for me yesterday. I passed the course and I am now a certified youth mental health first aider. And that means that I can, with this particular curriculum, go out in the world to churches, to schools, to organizations, and teach people, just anyone, how to identify mental health issues and signs and what they should do. So I'm super excited. It was a 3-day training, almost kicked my butt, but I am now certified. So I'm super excited about that. Let's go to our announcements. Don't worry, y'all, because somebody came through. I am getting my hair done today, so I know I look a little crazy. And I'm about to go work out right after this. Thank you, Miss Lashia, and love you too, Rita. So don't forget, this weekend at Surratt Park, which is located in Dunleaf, there is going to be a basketball tournament for the youth. That is on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is a 5-on-5, ages 9 to 14. And you can sign up today by going to universe.com/basketball or the travel morena@gmail.com. Again, something fun, or you guys can go watch too. And I love with this event, they're promoting mental health for our youth. And we know that is so important. So go ahead, share that out. Or if you know any youth ages 5 to 14 that are ballers, go ahead and let them know. Let's go ahead to our scripture. All right. We're going to ignore the day 15 part, but we're coming from Ephesians chapter 1, verse 18. I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened in order that you may know the hope to which he has called you, the riches of his glorious inheritance in his holy people. And this one, of course, is focusing on our parents because we're talking about these babies today. Parenting principle. When Jesus gets their soul, he'll take full control. And let me just say right there, we always talk about rearing our kids up in the belief in the faith. And you know, when you're younger, you have no clue. You're just like, gosh darn it, they're making me go to church again. And I really don't want to go. They got me singing in the choir, all the things I had to do. But boy, am I grateful for my parents instilling that in me and my church family and the impact that they have had on my life. Coleman Memorial. So again, parenting principle. When Jesus gets their soul, he'll take full control. So how are you bringing up the babies? And points to ponder. What do you pray daily for your children? And for our people who you're like, I ain't got no kids. Well, I'm now a stepmother, so I do have a son. But You can also pray for nieces, nephews, your friends' children. So what do you pray for daily for your children? How can you be more specific in your prayer life? And where do you see your children discovering their hope in Christ? And that was always one of the cool things. This sun again. That was always one of the cool things, let me shift, about Youth Rally when we would go to Ocean City, Maryland each year and just see the experience and what's the word I'm looking for? The becoming and knowing of Christ and developing that relationship in the youth. Oh, it was the best ever. I can't wait till we can go to Youth Rally again. All right, let's go ahead and get right into our topic for today. When kids rebel. Whoo, wait, I know we got some parents on this call. And you like, these kids, they're taking me to a new limit. And I know they're your precious babies. You carried them for that 9 months. You wiped their little snotty nose and wiped their little poopy butts. And now that they're getting a little older, you're looking at them like, what in the world? I know Rita wrote today. Oh my God, my boyfriend is so precious. But she wrote today, he giving her a run for her money and it ain't even 7 a.m. yet. So I know these are your precious babies and you love them to death. But sometimes they can push your buttons, right? And for our aunties and uncles, same thing. She said they rebel before they can spell before they can spell their name. And this applies to aunties and to uncles, because before I had a stepson, I had my brother's children. Y'all know in high school, I found out people thought that Lanaya was my actual child. Very interesting. But you pour that same passion and love and care for into nieces, nephews, godchildren. I know Miss Lashia, even in church, she would be on us as youth. And so it's tough when your precious babies, they start cutting up and everything. So let's talk about a little bit of what happens with young children. A lot of times they are limit testing. They're trying to see, push it to the limit. They're trying to see how far they can take you, how far they can test you before you're like, And with the young children and even with the teens, we're going to talk about how to manage these behaviors. But we want to just notice that that's what they're doing, because it's going to help build them tune to what they develop in their teen years, which is we want them to develop independence. And I know a lot of times we do the comparison like, I was not like this in my day, but you weren't exactly like they are now, but you were a certain form of it, just a little different as the time has gone on. You know darn well you was fighting for your independence, wanting to do things on your own, wanting to have a mind and thought process of your own, and nobody could tell you nothing. What Nana used to say, don't get to smelling yourself, right? Anybody else grandma told them that? Don't get too vain. Don't get too big for your britches. Woo! I'm having flashbacks, guys. I'm having flashbacks. And we know even in this independent stage now, our teens are clinging more to their peers, their friend influences, right? And maybe not so much listening to the direct words of their parents, but we got to also have faith and hope that you have instilled wonderful values within them, right? Rita said, I was nowhere close to what they are now. Aunt Allison can confirm. All right now. So one thing we have to do in this phase, even with the younger ones, and even with the teenagers, we have to be patient. And I know sometimes, and this is not clinical, and the therapist in me is not recommending this, I know sometimes you just want to knock their head off, but we can't do that, because then they're going to call the people on you, and that's going to be even worse. But we want to be patient in understanding that this is all a part of the growth stage. This is all a part of them maturing and becoming the adults that we as well became. And it's tough for them navigating all these new ways of the world. Social media is kicking their butt. So again, you want to be patient, but continue to instill those things that are important values that you want the child to have, as well as I know I see a lot of times, especially in our family therapy sessions, this is what we are trying to correct, just the way we communicate with each other. I know you already have your high stressors, you have everything going on over here, but then sometimes we may displace our anger, displace our stress on our children through yelling or kind of being short with them and going off on them. So that's why I always tell us, tune in with ourselves so that we can exhibit patience on them, because they're just trying to grow and figure out this thing called life as they go. Another thing we have to do is listen. Now, we talked about this actually in the training I was in, listening and listening non-judgmentally. We talked about verbal cues and the non-verbal, like the body language we give off when we're listening and we're not. And what we find a lot of time is, as families, we're not having real conversations, or everyone's distracted on their phones that we're barely half hearing what kids are saying. And what I've noticed with my teen nieces, nephews, stepson, everybody, when you get them in a car or one-on-one, oh, they talk and they tell you what they're thinking and really feeling. So we want to be open when that moment comes and really tuned in, giving it our undivided attention. And then we also want to make sure when they come that we don't judge them, because I know you would say, well, back in my day, or that happened to me before. They don't want to hear that. Trust me, they do not want to hear that for our teenagers. They want to know that you value and understand and are working to understand what their true experience is right now, and that you can give some guidance when they may ask for some guidance. And boy, they do ask for some guidance. Lanaya still hits me up. Tay, what you think about this, right? And again, you've instilled awesome values in them. So let's just spend quality time listening and having one-on-one moments. There was also one more thing. And then remember, one of our active listening skills is to always kind of repeat back what you heard and all of that. There was something else with listening, but I can't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. You also, for our children, I know you, a lot of times you think, oh, my baby wouldn't do that. My precious baby. No. We want to monitor peer and family influences, right? Because right now they're going to their peers to say, well, what you know about this? Because I can't talk to my parent about this. So what you know? And who knows the information that their friends are giving them? So we want to have these open and honest conversations with our youth. If you have a teenager, I know, in the name of the Lord, you don't want to be encouraging them to have sex or do certain activities or talking about drugs. But when you avoid that conversation, that just means a professional like me either has to have it, or they're going to teach it in school, or they're going to go to those peers that are going to probably give them misinformation. So you want to be able to have these talks with your babies, with your teens, right? And you want to monitor, like, who are they hanging around? And if you have to put a boundary in and say, oh, I think you should kind of chill off of this person, you want to absolutely do that. Miss Lashia said, great topic. Thanks, sis. Be a great listener. Meet them where they are. Speak truth to them. Absolutely. And that's one thing I can appreciate and honor with Miss Lashia. When we would be at church, she would keep it real with us. She would keep it real. I remember being a teenager and her just pouring into us, and that's what we have to do. As well as see if there's another adult, a auntie, a mentor that your child can connect with and talk to. And as always, a therapist. I love my teens. It's limited how many teens I see, but I love having my teens in therapy and really get to hear. And it's interesting because they're thinking about stuff that we probably don't think they're thinking about, or they're struggling with real life issues that we really need to pay attention to, rises in depression and anxiety in our youth, and we need to pay more attention to it. Lastly, you want to monitor your and your mate's influence, right? Because sometimes us as parents, we got some stuff with us, and we need to check ourselves and see, how am I showing up in this parenting relationship, and what can I do better? And we especially want to be careful If you grew up in a home that wasn't healthy, where mom and dad may not have instilled the best things or their approach may not have been the best, you got to be really careful to make sure that you don't duplicate it, because that is what you know. That is what you're used to. And typically you would tell, because you have a lot of conflict with your kid, you can't communicate. So you want to really pay attention to, how am I showing up as a parent? And I remember someone telling me, well, I always say, well, how do you think you're doing as a parent? And they say, well, the best person to ask will be my kids. So you can have these honest conversations and get feedback. You also want to pay attention to your mate's influence, because if we're honest, some of us are not bringing the best partners around our children. We're not bringing the best influences around our children, especially so with our younger ones. You want someone that's gonna help you out, help instill the values. But with our older ones, you want someone that's going to be a positive example, because they are definitely looking at all of those behaviors and they're looking to make a connection. But if you start dating someone that is a hot mess, they're not going to respect them, and they're going to dwindle down in respect for you as well. So we have to be very careful and pay attention to the influence we have and those that we bring around our children. So again, your precious babies, when they rebel, they are still your babies. We want to have patience. We want to understand that this is just them trying to grow and insert their independence. And we want to make sure we're listening and spending increased one-on-one time together, family time, and having those difficult conversations. Come on, y'all. Because our youth are really struggling, right? And we want to help them, because I know it's challenging when you see them doing something wrong and you just want them to walk on this straight and narrow path. Realize there's going to be some hiccups. There were some hiccups with you and me too, right? But we want to let them know that they have a loving and supportive adult and parent in their corner. Okay, guys, I pray that it was helpful. Share it out so all our parents can see. Come on. So today for our prayer, it's a prayer of encouragement for a friend. So pick a friend, some friends, all your friends, and say a special prayer for them today. What's today? Thursday. This week been going so fast. I love you guys so much. She said they are struggling. Yes, they are struggling. I love you guys so much. This is our last day together. Remember, if you have any topics you want to discuss, message them to me. I will see you guys bright and early on Monday. Have an awesome, thriving Thursday. How's that sound? And an even more amazing weekend. Bye, guys. I'm headed to work out.